This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutastrophe. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe on this date. And on this day, January 21st, 2007, one of the greatest comebacks in football history happened. No, it's not akin to the Bills' comeback against the Oilers 35-3 back in 1993. And it's not the Vikings comeback from 31-0 down to care against the Colts. It's the fact that the New England Patriots had a chance to go to the Super Bowl in 2007 and botched it. Now, of course, when I say 2007, I mean in the year 2007. Everyone knows about the 2006 playoffs and all that. Well, 06-07. So the New England Patriots actually had to do what few teams would dream of. They would have to qualify through the wildcard system. They didn't have the 1 seed. They didn't have the 2 seed either. So the Pats had to play 3 games, whereas the Colts the Colts played 3 games too, which was funny. So anyway, the Pats' road to the potential Super Bowl was they crushed the Jets 37-16 in lieu of a couple of matches being in the Jets' favor, including 2011. The Colts easily took care of Kansas City 23-8 on home turf. Indy went into Baltimore and beat Baltimore in the battle of field goals, as all 21 points were scored by the field goal units. 5 field goals for Indy and Matt Vinatieri, 2 by Baltimore and Matt Stover. Or Justin Tucker, sorry. It was 15-6 for the Colts. Meanwhile, the Pats actually had to face the number 1 seed San Diego Chargers, and thanks to a recovery of a interception which the Chargers fumbled on, they won 24-21, even though that they had a late field goal attempt and it went wide. So that's how New England and Indianapolis would battle each other. Earlier in the day, the Chicago Bears on home turf crushed the New Orleans Saints, who would have made the ultimate Cinderella story in the Super Bowl. As remember, this was the year that the Saints came back to the Superdome after Hurricane Katrina basically ruined New Orleans, and the Saints had to play in different stadiums, like nomads. So after the Bears beat the Saints, it was now time for the Colts and Patriots to go toe-to-toe on CBS in front of 57,000 fans at RCA Dome in Indianapolis. No, it was not Indy's current stadium yet. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms were the big boys doing the CBS call, not Nantz and Romo. Anyway, in the first quarter, the Patriots were driving. Lawrence Maroney was trying to run into the end zone, but fumbled it. The ball rolled in the end zone, where Logan Mankins managed to catch the ball, get the ball, and yes, he could get that ball. Touchdown Patriots. If the Colts had it, it would have been a touchback. The Colts would kick a 42-yard field goal by Adam Vinatieri to make it 7-3. The Patriots had a tough decision. They went for it on 4th down at the Colts' 34-yard line, and Brady went to Troy Bramford a play. The next play, Corey Dillon, touchdown, former Bengals icon. It was 14-3. And then Peyton Manning threw a pick 6 to Asante Samuel, making it 21-3 for the Pats. It was like unbelievable. But before the end of the half, Adam Vinatieri did kick a field goal. Final score was, after one half, is 21-6. So it looked good for the Patriots to go into Indianapolis, win, face the Bears, and potentially win. Obviously, I would pick the Pats because I am a Pats fan, but I think the Bears were who I thought they were. Not really that good. Anyway, the second half, the Colts were first to the ball, and Manning got a touchdown. Then after a punt, the ball was moved to the Patriots' 32-yard line. After a pass interference call on Ellis Hobbs, Manning threw a ball to Dan Kletko, who was at fullback at the time. And then they went for 2, and Marvin Harrison caught the pass 21-21. But then, after a 5-play drive, Brady threw a touchdown to Jabbar Gaffney, who was out of bounds. He landed out of bounds, but because he was forced out while in the air, that he would have had 2 feet down. The Pats took a 20-21 lead. And then the Colts did their own thing. Remember when I said about Logan Mankins recovering that ball offensive fumble? Well, the Colts had an offensive fumble for a touchdown. Rhodes fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line. And Jeff Saturday, the center, managed to smack it. Touchdown, and the Colts that tied the game. New England would kick a field goal to make it 31-28. And then the Colts got a field goal by Vinatieri, so it was 31-all. With 3:49 left, Gostkowski kicked a 43-yard field goal, and it looked decent. The defense forced the punt, but the Patriots punted back to the Colts because they ran only a minute off the clock. So Manning started off the drive with a roughing the passer call on the Pats, helping the Colts out. Within 19 seconds, he had 70 yards, and the ball at the Patriots 11. After getting to the 3 yard line, Joseph Adai pushed in for a touchdown. Colts were up 38-34. Brady was trying his best, but unfortunately he threw an interception to Marlon Jackson. And the Colts were going to the Super Bowl for the 3rd time in franchise history. As people will recall, in 1969 and 1971, they were the Baltimore Colts when they went to the final. 69, they were supposed to beat the Jets and the inferior AFL thing, but fell to name miscarriage and probably fixing. But the Colts won Super Bowl 5 in what's called the Blender Bowl because of all those turnovers. And Jim O'Brien's field goal. So anyway, the Colts were the first number 3 seed since 1990 to make the playoffs, after the NFL expanded from 10 teams in the playoffs to 12. The first number 3 seed to host a conference championship game, which was huge because both number 1 and number 2 fell in the AFC at the same time. It was also the first time since 1987 where a team hosted a championship game after playing a road game in the divisional round. Anyway, Ellis Hobbs put up 220 kickoff return yards, which was the 2nd highest total in postseason history. Unfortunately for the Pats, they were not able to keep their streak for the Colts alive. They were 2-0 in the playoffs against the Colts in 2003 and 2004, but the Colts got their revenge back. And the Colts would use their revenge game to win 29-17, taking care of the Bears and getting the Super Bowl that the Pats should have technically had. But let me remind you that the Pats did come back and put up a 16-0 regular season and should have won the Super Bowl, but if it wasn't for David Tyree's helmet catch and then the touchdown to Plaxico Burress, we would be talking about 19-0 for Patriots. Peyton would lead the Colts to the 2010 Super Bowl, but lost to the Saints, who were doing their Cinderella story. And Peyton did not feel happy. Although Peyton would lead Denver to 2 Super Bowl appearances in 2014 and 16, with a win and a loss. It was just meant to be. And the 18 points is still the largest comeback from a deficit in conference championship history, or the Final Four, if you will. I know I talked about the Green Bay-Seattle game 3 days ago, but I also got to note this game was huge. And pissing me off as a Patriots fan, but what else to do? Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.